Sunday, September 20, 2015. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and this is my 1983 Mercedes 240 diesel. So, when I had the cluster out, I took a look at the speedometer cable, at least the end that goes into the instrument cluster, and it looked like it was broken. Specifically, I have a different cable here. Let me just show you this. Now, this is the cable out of my 1979 parts car, and you see this piece right here, the actual cable insert, for lack of a better term. This piece here was missing. Now, I'm pretty sure that the rest of the insert is still inside the cable because I installed the transmission end of the cable just a little while ago, and that seemed to look okay. So at some point, this tip, I think, got broken off the cable, and I don't know what happened to it, but anyhow, that's what's going on. So if you look here, here's both ends of the cable. This is the speedometer end, and this is the transmission end. And if you can see that they're definitely connected and working and moving smoothly, and I'm not getting any noise out of this. I did some research, and I'm getting conflicting information. I think it's quite possible that the 79 and the 83 use the same speedometer cable for manual transmission cars. Once again, I got conflicting information on that, so seeing as how I have this part in hand, and it checks out okay, I figure, you know, I may as well just try to install this today. And there's really not much to it. I mean, there's a pinch bolt on the transmission which grabs right around here, and then this end just manually by hand screws onto the instrument cluster, and of course it's got to pass through the firewall of the car. But other than that, you know, there's really not much to it, and you know, given the limited space there I have to work and the time frame, which is always a concern, I'm not going to show you exactly how to do this, but once again, it's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to go ahead and try to replace this cable and see if that makes a difference. So that'll be the first thing I do today, and I may or may not update you before the end of the day. So I'm going to get to work now. Okay, well, here's a little update. It actually turns out that the two speedometer cables are not compatible. Now, as I showed you, this is the end of the cable from the 79, and this should plug into my instrument cluster okay. And this is the end from the 83 cable. And like I said, it seems to be missing a piece. So let me show you the two ends here. This is the other ends. This is the end that goes into the transmission. Now, as I showed you, this this flat kind of square end here, this is the 79 cable. But the 83 cable seems to have an end like this here. So they're not compatible, not to mention the fact that the 83 cable is actually longer than the 79 cable. So it looks like I am going to have to track down a new one, or at least a good used replacement. So that is definitely on my list of things to buy. So I'm going to get back to work now, and I'll update you at the end of the day. Alright, I'm at my stopping point for the day. Unfortunately, I did not get much of note done. After I discovered the discrepancy in the speedometer cable, I actually went in the house and tried to do a little research and locate the part, and I think I located the correct new speedometer cable, so kind of took a chance there on ordering it, so hopefully that'll be here in a few days. Not to mention the fact that it didn't get started until, you know, 3, 4 in the afternoon as it is. What else? Just little stuff, just cleanup stuff. As I said, I put the seats back in yesterday, so I put the carpeting back down, vacuumed it, put the new floor mats down, and I can show you that. And I also showed you the trunk mat yesterday that I had resurfaced with Plastidip, and that actually turned out looking really nice. I mean, on the surface, it looks brand new. So the Plastidip absolutely did what I intended it to do there, and I put a few more patches on the back. If you give me a moment, I will show you that. Okay, now, as you can see, this doesn't look brand new, but because this actually is the underside of the mat. Now, if I just flip this over here, that is the new top side of it, which I think actually looks pretty fantastic. Now here on the back, I'm not sure if I showed this in a previous video or not, but what I did was I cut sections from an old bike inner tube, and here's another little remaining piece, and you know, it's still good, pliable rubber. And then I used this stuff here, 3M Super 77, to glue it down. And a few days ago I actually tried to do this, and I tried with this product here, rubber cement. And it really wasn't holding the patches firmly. But I've used Super 77 before, I'm kind of confident in it doing what it should. And then over the surface here, I actually spread black RTV silicone. This is just some cheap stuff I picked up at Harbor Freight, but okay, you can see back here I put down the carpet mat and the new rubber floor mat to protect the carpets. And same up front here. Now these rubber floor mats I got are actually pretty big, and I don't know if you can see, but I actually had to notch the mat around the accelerator pedal there. And it's actually, I get it, it's kind of funny that I went to the trouble of finding these original carpet mats only to cover the whole things with rubber floor mats, but that's just the way I roll. Lastly, I was poking around here under the hood, and I thought that I might pop off the valve cover, but I didn't really get to that. Basically, I was just, you know, refamiliarizing myself with some stuff under here that I'll just need to pay attention to. Specifically the timing marks on the crank pulley. Because what I need to do is measure timing chain stretch. Now, in order to do that, I have to pop off the valve cover, and there's a whole big procedure involved. And as I've said before, if the timing chain measures within spec, then there's really not too much I have to do under here. That's where I am. That's what I'm starting on this week. The under the hood stuff. The final, well, hopefully, the final phase of this project. So this is Mercedes Diesel Guy. Thanks for watching.